Yeah, I'm definitely just winging it here. I decided to keep going into an extended for Patreon, okay? We have the King of Wands here and the upcoming overall energy. The Wands start. I'm just completely uncomfortable in so many ways. So I apologize for my inability to focus on things today. Suit of Wands, 177. But we're negotiating, me and my body. So I'm sorry, you're like the... you're like the children involved in a fight between parents. We're negotiating here. We can get through this. No, we can't. We can get through this. No, we can't. We can get through this. No, we can't. So we are looking for the King of Wands and the Suit of Wands. King of Wands, stature, status, honor, and intellectual, artistic force, who is more stable than the Knight of Wands. A man who has succeeded due to his own intelligence and determination. We did see didn't we see the Knight of Wands? No, we did not, sorry. Overcoming disadvantage, start in life to reach a position of influence and satisfaction. The card represents more than material success, which may accompany his rise. It is achievement that contributes to the arts, sciences, or quality of life, a life well lived. Somebody's deciding to be grateful for what they have. Here, the Knight of Wands. Kind of grow up. Be content with what they have rather than searching. The Knight of Wands is searching, playing, testing. Right? This is a King of Wands, and I love how it mentions that there is a progression there, because I always see that as a progression. I've never seen a book that says that. So I do see this as a progression of somebody growing up. There's that Justice card again. Who now knows who is true to him and who is not. So what is the clarification for this? Yeah, there has been a huge Tower moment for this king. Four of Wands as to where his happiness is, where his home and heart is. In the future of the King of Wands. The future of the King of Wands is the Three of Cups. This is reunion. This is celebration. Could be marriage. I don't see this as a third party. Overall energy, Queen of Wands. No. This is about love. He has chosen his queen. The King of Wands, the Queen of Cups. This is about love. The way that he makes her feel is so fulfilled. There's no insecurity. There's a deep knowing that the Queen of Cups is loved by this king. And there's so much security here that she has the ability to give this love to other people. The Hanged Man is here. We've already read that in the original reading, so I'm just going to clarify the Hanged Man for us here. Why is the Hanged Man here? Three of Pentacles, working together in the past. Ace of Wands and the Devil. Five of Wands. There is action, right? This is the card that's in front of us. This is the overall energy. So this seems like some kind of block that will be overcome because two people are determined to overcome it. The Devil. So there is an action taken with the Ace of Wands, but there's codependency here. Maybe there's fear, or maybe we talk about our fears. Maybe there is a feeling of dependence on somebody, and we need to talk about that. Or there's just a feeling that these two people cannot escape each other, that they're kind of bound together no matter what. And this could be the Devil and the Lovers is two sides of a love connection. There is always that side. And you know what? If you want to stay together forever, you kind of want that. You kind of need that. You kind of need that feeling like, I don't want to be without you. I can't be without you. Like, without you, my life isn't the same. And if you want to call that the Devil codependency, I mean, why else would you be with somebody else? In my world of singularity, if you didn't absolutely need somebody to be a certain level of happy, why would you be with them? Really? You know, because they're boring. You could be with anybody then. If there's nothing that ties you together, I feel like this Devil is the thing that ties you together. and you're willing to fight for it. Both of you are willing to fight for it. I feel like this is a mutual feeling that you just are happier with each other in each other's life. The Chariot is here. Okay, we only have 2 more majors, all right? So this is that same guy. The same guy who trapped the mouse, right? In the Hanged Man card. That took the action. Rhiannon's husband in the Chariot, number 7. I love this. I'm really enjoying this. I hope you are too. Number 7, the Chariot, page 73. The Chariot. The traditional tarot imagery depicts a chariot driven by a capable, partly armored warrior. Speed is often indicated, representing the pace of life, yet the driver has a firm grip on the reins and remains in control of the situation. The chariot is drawn by 2 fantastical beasts or horses, one light, the other dark in color, symbolizing the 2 opposing, I should be showing you this, 2 opposing poles or dichotomy within a person, within the environment, or the impact of an event. The horses are reconciled to pull in tandem, bringing speed and progress. You might be torn yourself about this. I feel like the other person is torn or has gone through something where they have felt torn about this situation. Do they want to do this? Do they not? They like their options before. Now they don't. So, but you are kind of like that too. You have this black and white horse too. You've remained in control up to this point, and maybe that's what the Devil card is about: feeling out of control, but in a good way. Because being single, and the Hermit is also about being single. You have so much control, and we lose that control with the Devil card, right? And it's scary to be tied to another person. Manadon, son of Lear, was brother to Bran, the Blessed, and Branwen. By marrying the widowed Rhiannon, he became a patient stepfather to Pryderi, and he is one of the most admirable and evolved temperaments in Welsh mythology. Manadwyn is seen as a seasoned warrior, skilled and capable with the wisdom and patience to triumph over the slippery opponents of the other world. He is usually humble in a heroic society where boasting is the fashion, and his understanding and respectful woman further sets him apart. We know he was disinherited prince, but we do not know why, and while the surviving Welsh material makes no mention of him in the role of a sea god, it is the long-standing consensus that he is the Welsh equivalent to the Irish Manannán mac Lir. Tradition names his self-propelled boat Wave Sweeper, and he was said to be a glorious sight driving his chariot across the waves as if the sea were a plain of flowers. The sea god is also associated with the Isle of Man as the first king and guardian. Even today, a bank of sea mist is referred to as Manannán's Vale by islanders, while time and likely censoring Christian scribes have stripped Manadwyn of his former divine glory. The character seen in the Mabinogion is still the far-seeing, honorable survivor, Manadwyn of profound counsel. Could I butcher these names anymore? I'm so sorry. The third branch of Mabinogion tells of how, after burying the head of Bran at the White Mount, Manadwyn, that was his brother, lamented that unlike his companions, he had no home awaiting his return. Pryderi invited his friend to return with him to his land to Dyfed, where Manadwyn and Rhiannon, Pryderi's widowed mother, took a liking to each other and soon were wed to the delight of all. The land prospered under their reign, and together with Pryderi and his wife Kiva, the four were tight-knit family. One evening, a powerful enchantment descended upon Dyfed, which, when the mist lifted, left the land deserted of all its domestic livestock and inhabitants, but for the 2 couples in the 3rd year of isolation. In the third year of isolation, Mynadwyn thought it best to take the family to Llewelyn, it was England. They set up shop at Mynadwyn, taught Pryderi how to make saddles, and then lent his artistic gifts to decorating them with gold and blue enamel, the secrets of which he had learned from a master. Their enterprise was so successful that local saddle makers plotted to slay the two. On receiving a warning, Pryderi was indignant, saying he thought they ought to kill the boars, but Mynadwyn cautioned the evil fame and prison would then be their lot. They moved to another town and encountered the same scenario, this time with enabled shields. Mynadwyn judged the shoemakers of their third town to be too meek to assault them, and so set about teaching Pryderi the craft of shoemaker, and then taught himself the secrets of gilding so as to finish the clasps with gold. The shoes were exquisite, and resentment and eviction soon followed. With money made, the four of them returned to Dyfed and lived comfortably until one day Pryderi chose to ignore Mynadwyn's warning and entered a castle that was of dangerous, unworldly nature, and thus walked into a trap. Mynadwyn resisted the lure, knowing he would be no match for otherworldly power and cunning which conjured the castle. But on hearing the tale, Rhiannon was blind to the fault of her son and turned on Mynadwyn, calling him an evil companion. She then disappeared into the night, found Pryderi, and became trapped in the same manner. This is the same story that we saw in the Hanged Man. Okay, a pearl of thunder resounded, and the castle vanished with mother and son. In the coming days, Kikva became increasingly aware of being alone with Mynadwyn. As her loneliness grew, she began to dwell on all wild imaginings of his desiring her until she whipped herself into despair, not caring if she lived or died. Mynadwyn guessed the reason for her behavior and broached the subject to reassure her she had nothing to fear. In a calm and steady tone, he swore he had only ever felt friendship for her, and even if in the dawn of youth he would not betray her friendship with or the trust of Pryderi in such a way. Mynadwyn went on to assure her that he would do all in his power to see her through her grief and woe. With relief, Kikva told him that this is how she deemed his character, and with renewed courage she followed Mynadwyn as he adapted to and navigated their changing conditions of fortune. First they returned to Llewelyn, which was England, where he once again earned their money as a shoemaker. Thinking of their survival, he then brought enough wheat seed to sow 3 fields in Dyfed. This new enterprise naturally aroused the curiosity of the other world, who could not help but trespass his field, thus providing Mynadwyn with his opportunity to catch one of their own and play out an elaborate ruse with which he could secure the release of Rhiannon, Pryderi, and the spell that had the land of Dyfed, also the Hanged Man card. So there's 2 sides of the story, right? There's the Hanged Man, and then the Chariot is actually when he makes the action, takes the action forward towards victory, perhaps. Triumph, victory, parade, success of multi-faced endeavor, leadership, competence, and maturity, conquest, an evolved personality, courage, being centered and secure, moral, ethical progress and conduct, a high-minded, honorable approach to life, balance, integration, harmony of opposite tensions, equilibrium, reconciling opposing forces or views, uniting right and left-brained functions, control over inner conflicts, harnessing wild energies, life unfolding at an accelerated pace, yet maintaining direction, finding one's stride, enjoying the thrill and ride of life, engaging in ambition or dream, achievement, high energy, promotion, honors, and reward. Overcoming opposition may indicate a rescue, as in the arrival of the cavalry. Wow. This is you that takes this action. You having enough of a situation, but also you taking control of your own life, and that could be where you're at right now. You have finally taken control of your own life. You have fulfillment in your own life with the Chariot card, and you have control of your own life, and it doesn't depend on anyone else. So this is a strong energy, and it's a good position to be invited into a relationship where somebody already knows that they love you, because you know who you are, and they're going to accept you for who you are. You know who you are, they know who you are, you both love you, and you're going to be moving forward into a relationship in that energy. So let's clarify. Why is the Chariot card here? Why is the Chariot card here? Six of Pentacles and the past. Equal give and take. The Emperor. The equal give and take with somebody you know is your divine partner. And then Seven of Pentacles, not feeling the fulfillment of it. And for that reason, I believe you have found your own contentment with the Chariot card. Like you knew this, you recognize this person too. They recognize you now. You might have recognized them first. Oh, look at this, the Ten of Cups, overall energy. You know what? You're just determined to be happy no matter what. You know who your person is. They might not be conforming right this second because we already talked about that. Everything that's happening with them. But you have decided to be happy regardless of this person. This is our last major arcana, which is good because my throat is actually getting sore. This is how they feel, how they see you or how they feel. The 9, which is the Hermit. It's a Virgo energy. Chariot is Cancer energy. So, the Hermit. Number 80, page 85. Page 85, the Hermit. The Hermit, the traditional, I'm going to hold it up for you. See that light, the lantern, it says what it's shining. So this is shining the lantern is supposed to illuminate what the most important thing is, and it's illuminating the Hanged Man. It's illuminating the fact that somebody here is about to take some action. Somebody is about to take an action. So the traditional, tarot imagery depicts a man walking toward the left of the card with a staff in the hand. Left is typically the past. He is dressed in long robes and is generally hooded. So he's looking to the past. Sometimes he holds a lantern that lights his way and sheds enough light to see the surrounding wild, uninhibited landscape and the serpent of wisdom at his feet. In earlier decks, he holds an hourglass rather than a lantern, and he is a figure thought to have evolved from father, time, or Saturn. Merlin. The popular image of Merlin as magician and prophet is largely the creation of Geoffrey of Monmouth by way of his best-selling book, The History of the King of Britain, written in 1135. He later wrote The Life of Merlin, which dealt with Merlin in his retreat into Calendian forest, where he lived in isolation but for the company of animals. Geoffrey of Monmouth drew upon the poems attributed to the historic Welsh bard Myrddin. Okay, so he was considered a bard, as well as local traditions surrounding the figure, and then changed the name to Merlin. Like Taliesin, see the Hierophant card, Myrddin was a 6th century Welsh bard who migrated to the north of what is now England. Most of the poems attributed to him are contained in the collection known as the Black Book of Carmarthen, and while considered too late to be the authentic writings of Myrddin, they could have derived from earlier original works of the poet. The prophecies of Myrddin, which make up part of these writings, are, however, deemed to be additions made by later scribes and not the words of the prophet, as the text reflects the political scene of the 12th century onward. Merlin appears in the history of the kings of Britain as the boy who has to prove himself at a young age. The reckless king, Vortigern, had taken refuge in Wales from the invading Saxons, whom he had, by way of his policy, enabled to gain a foothold in Britain. He planned to build a fortress at Dinas Emrys, but each morning would wake to find the work of the previous day in ruins. Vortigern's droids told him the building needed a sacrifice and the blood of fatherless boy to be sprinkled over the foundations for the structure to stand. Merlin was rumored to be the son of the devil, and thus was brought before the king as a fatherless child. But the gifted far-seeing boy challenged the droid's theory, explaining that if he were to dig down into the ground below the site, they would find two dragons who fought each night, and thus were in the cause of the destruction. A crew began to dig and found the dragons as described, one red and the other white, which the boy went on to explain represented the Britons and the Saxons respectively in their forthcoming battles. The character and fate of Merlin contrasts that of the magician of Arthurian romance who regains an air of pagan woodland, yet still enjoys a comfortable existence at court as the protector and advisor of Arthur at his round table. Being that the Merlin of Arthur's court is well known, we shall take the opportunity here to visit the men who are thought to have been inspirations behind the magician. The character of Merlin, who is Geoffrey's source and rooted in history, lived a solitary life, but for his pet pig and wolf. Wow. In the Chaldean forest, he suffered a madness and took the muttering prophecies after his traumatic experiences on the battlefield of Ardarid, which left deep psychic wounds. Geoffrey's Merlin likewise takes flight in the wild after a dreadful battle in the north in which 3 of his companions are killed. He finds safety and calm in the forest, where he likes to hide in the cover of an apple tree, believing he is a hunted man. In time he is found beside a spring and subdued with music and taken back to the court, where there was interest in his prophecies. But society and its crowds cause him to panic. Madness reclaims him, and he returns to his wood-wild state. Merlin stays in the beloved forest but for one public appearance, that being the wedding of his ex-wife, where he arrives riding a stag with a herd of deer as a wedding gift. The groom laughs at the sight, and on impulse Merlin kills him with a pair of antlers. He is then captured and put on display where his prophetic utterances prove true. After his release he returns to the forest, which begins to hail him. His prophecies echo creation myths and his personal experience by the cycle of destructive horrors, then profound calm, then renewal. He asks his sister to build a forest dwelling designed for scientific and prophetic observation of the stars that will also provide shelter from the winter. Taliesin visits him for long, eccentric conversation, and a new spring is found from which Merlin drinks, bathes, and is healed of distress. Society wishes his return, but he refuses, choosing to live out his life in his forest sanctuary in pursuit of wisdom, with Taliesin Ganead, a friend of his sister, and a second unfortunate wild man whom Merlin leads to the spring and restoration. There are 2 further figures whose stories are thought to mingle with the mirror of that of Merlin. The first is named Llewelyn, who is found in the wood naked and hairy by Saint Gantergen, patron saint of Glasgow. He fought in a terrible battle in the same field as Ardred, and there saw the sky open up and riders form the clouds to threaten and accuse him of being responsible for the carnage, after which the spirits drove him from the field into the cover of the forest, where he lived wild with the animals. It was his habit to sit upon a rock and deliver his prophecies so as to interrupt the services of Cantergen. He foretold his own death at the hands of shepherds, which is an important passage in the manuscript, for it also identifies him with the Merlin. Merlin is said to have met a triple death, that is, by stone, stake, and water. Lastly, there is a sad Irish tale known as the Frenzy of Sabhine, where King Sabhine is seized by battle panic and flies literally into the safety of the neighboring treetops, and then lives out his life roaming lonely landscapes, living on wild creases in water until his death by the spirit of jealous husband, whose wife had kindly been leaving milk for their lost soul. Sabhine has also had his skirmishes with the church, namely Saint Ronan, who some said brought the madness on by a curse. In vying for public favor, the churchman began to claim the same romantic gifts and affinity with the wild as a pagan would wild man. a sign of the begrudging respects and competitive air between the seer and the saint. Your person has been through a fuck ton of shit, right? All that is like, not only has he experienced so much in the past, but he has also seen other people experience tragedies. His examples of what life is have been working against him instead of for him. Life has shown him that it's better to be alone. Somehow, the love that's here is overcoming all of that. This is a crazy reading. Unrealistic to me. Pretty much. This is about a love so big it conquers personal experience with love that has been extremely negative, along with no examples of real love. In fact, the opposite. Like from an early age, had nothing but bad examples of love and being loved. Fatherless child. Issues. Something is making this person come forward. And you might be like, what is taking them so long? That's what's taking them so long. The Hermit actually never, all the examples, including that of the Hermit, there's no happy ending. This person dies alone. But there's a love here that's giving him a chance to not do that. And it looks to me like he's taking that chance. Why is the Hermit card here, please, Spirit? Why is the Hermit card here? The Four Swords, healing. The High Priestess. Six of Pentacles, healing. And the Wheel of Fortune. There's that. This card doesn't have the three women in it. Fate, the wheel changing. This person has healed a little bit in the past with the Four Swords, and they are now willing to come forward and put effort into something with the Six of Pentacles because they feel intuitively that this is something to move towards. They're following their intuition. Why? Because they feel like they were destined for something better. They want to change this destiny. They see themselves and where they're going. They're going to be alone forever. But yet there's this opportunity for love that, you know what, if they weren't so experienced, there's a lot of experience here. I'm thinking this is an older person. But they have decided that they don't want that future that they see for themselves as alone. And they want to move forward. The Two of Swords is here. We will read the Two of Swords. Usually I don't even look into this card, but I'm so into this reading. Two of Swords. And we're just almost done, so I'm going to go ahead and read it. Armed peace, uncertainty, limited information, impasse, blind judgment, sensing, frail alliance but with potential, invitation to friendship, collaboration or union but not being met halfway, questioning whether friend or foe, dual nature, energized by a not yet decided situation, relationship or path venturing into the unknown, having to proceed while in the dark, using intuition or caution, self-reliance, having to make a blind choice to break a stalemate. Yep, that's the same as the Justice, and the Two of Swords is not known as the baby Justice card. This decision is what you have to get through. It's almost there, the Two of Swords. The Justice is the overall energy. This has been a hard decision for somebody. Is this person worthy? Is this real? Can I trust this? The confusion of it. The Moon card came up earlier when we were reading. Confusion. Not knowing which way to go. Trusting your guidance, your intuition. In the future, Four Cups. Overall energy, Empress. Like, this cup that's being offered to them, and this is the positive, a positive look at this Four of Cups, but they see this future being offered to them, one where they're alone. And they're saying, no, I want my Empress. This is amazing reading. Like, I couldn't make this up if I wanted to. And believe me when I tell you, I am not the type of person that would make this story up. That's why I'm finding it so fantastic. Like, I would not make this story up. This is something I would watch and be like, this is bullshit. And part of me is saying that. But Spirit has not lied to me in my cards. And so there's a message here for somebody about a love that overcomes so much pain. Your person, I believe. I don't think it could be you. But somebody is overcoming a shit ton of pain. Knight of Cups. A romantic man, a considerate, creative, artistic sort. Musician, poet, diplomat, a promising proposal or collaboration, an opportunity to learn via a friend or lover, broadening horizons, new philosophies, gifts and romance, loyalty, sound romantic advice, imagination and empathy, a marriage proposal, reciprocated love, traditionally the messenger of true love. Fuck. Wow. Wow. Why is the Knight of Cups here? Don't ruin this reading for us, please, Spirit. It seems like we get these incredible readings, and then the last card is Seven of Swords. Like, I'm afraid. I kind of just want to leave this card. You could turn this off right now if you want, if you feel like that. I'm going to keep going and pray that it doesn't do that. But why? Yeah, somebody feeling abandoned in the past. Somebody's feeling like you forgot about them. And they're seeing that's what's triggering them. Oh, holding back the future. The Knight of Cups, there's that Wheel of Fortune. They see you're holding back, and I think it's scaring them. And the Knight turns into a king. Thank you, Spirit, for not ruining this amazing reading. Overall energy is the king, the High Priestess. This is somebody who's finally listening to their intuition. They're listening to the voice of Spirit, and they're not listening to ego anymore. And they're becoming a King of Cups who's deciding to be in a relationship. Committed relationship. They're growing up. I feel like this is your person. It could be you. This is an amazing reading. It went on so much longer than I thought, but seriously, I couldn't stop. See what happens when you read? Wow, the book. Like, take the time. Every morning I just blow through readings, but this was really cool. I really love this reading. I hope that you did too. And I will be doing the daily reading very soon, so come back for that. Love you. Talk to you later.